Nobody told Nneka that distance in marriage could be a breeding ground for lies. Work had separated her and Obinna long before the supposed sickness entered their marriage. Obinna moved from state to state chasing contracts, while Nneka stayed in Lagos with the children, running her catering business and holding the home together like a woman who had learned not to complain. They were married. Oh yes, but their love now lived mostly inside phones. So when Obinna called that night with a thin and tired voice, Nneka did not immediately panic. "Nne," he said, "I have not been feeling well." She smiled into the phone. "You? A stress, Joe? You have been moving from one state to another state now." There was a pause before he said, "I am serious. I didn't want to tell you before now. I was hoping and trusting that God will heal me. If you notice, I've always been lying down each time we talk on video call. It's cancer. I have been managing it, but right now I need to go to India for surgery and it will cost me 15 million naira." He spoke like someone who had rehearsed difficult lines and finally found the courage to say them out loud. He mentioned doctors and the hospitals he would be using like someone who had done his research thoroughly, and when Nneka asked questions, he answered carefully like a man afraid of being interrupted. 2 days later, he came down to Lagos. He looked thinner but not sick the way sickness usually looks. He showed her documents, medical papers and test results. She did not understand most of what she saw, but the stamps looked official enough. Besides, why would a man lie about death? Not just any man, but her husband. "We are in this together," she told him, "and I will have to shave my hair for you to know that you are not alone in this trying time." "You don't have to shave your hair," he told her. "All we need right now is to raise the money. I need to be alive for you and for the children. You can't train them alone." That statement made her to break down. In her mind, her husband was a rare gem. That night, sleep refused to come. Her mind replayed his voice, the word Indian, and the number 15 million. She entered the bathroom and stared at herself. Her hair was full. She picked up the clipper and cried, but she needed to stand in solidarity with her husband. She cut her hair, and as she finished, her hair was uneven and shining. She wrapped a scarf around it quickly, as if hiding the truth from herself. The next day, as her husband saw her, he said with a voice cracking perfectly at the right places, "Why did you do this?" "So you won't feel alone," she replied. He cried, thanked her, called her his angel, and promised that once he survived, he would spend the rest of his life making it up to her. He stayed just one more day because, according to him, he had a hospital appointment, and innocent Nneka believed because he was really acting weak, like someone who will soon give up the ghost. From that day, prayers rose like smoke every morning, and reality arrived wearing the face of numbers. When Nneka sat down with a pen and paper, it looked like a wicked joke. She wrote it down. 15, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, and 0. She stared at it for a long time. Then she laughed. It was the tired laugh of a woman whose problem had not yet decided whether to kill her slowly or quickly. She started with the easiest decision. She took out her jewelries one by one. She laid them on the bed and stared. For a moment, she hesitated. Then she remembered Obinna's voice. Weak, careful, and afraid. She packed them into a small bag and went to a buyer. When the man counted the money and pushed it towards her, it wasn't even up to half. That was how selling off her things began. Nneka had always been a practical woman. To her, problems needed solutions immediately. She ran her catering business like a soldier runs a camp, and she owned 3 delivery vans, each one bought with sweat, her arguments and prayers. But what would she be doing with three while her husband was battling his life? The vans went next. Her drivers were confused. Madam, do you want to sell the three of them? One asked, scratching his head. Yes, Nika replied calmly, all three. But what about your business, ma? Business will wait, she cut in. She sold them at prices she would normally reject. She told her husband what she was doing. He frowned and said, Sickness, it will never be well with you. But deep down, he was happy. Nneka continued. The shop was next. Lizzie, it felt like tearing her skin. She stood in the empty space after she had packed all her things to the house. She remembered all the mornings she opened before sunrise. Her first customer, her first big contract, and her first failure. She handed over the keys anyways. Still, the money was not enough, so she went to the place she had sworn never to go to, the bank. Her mother cried openly. Her brothers argued on her behalf and against her at the same time. Using Papa's house as a collateral, one shouted, Are you even mad? Nneka did not shout back. She spoke calmly. If Obina dies, I will be empty. But if he survives, just give me months. I will repay this loan. That sentence ended the meeting and the loan was approved. For the first time, fear of death joined fear of death. But even then, she did not regret anything because she believed sacrifice was a proof of love. When she finally counted everything, the number sat there quietly complete, 15 million naira. She called Obina immediately. I have it, she said, breathless. Relief flooded Obina's voice. Oh, my wife, you did all this for me? God bless you, Nee. God bless you for me. She transferred the money and immediately Obina saw the alert. He looked at it like a sacred object. He called her and cried, My dear, you have saved my life and I will never forget this. A week later, he left for the imaginary India with his brother. At the airport, he video called her and whispered promises. I will come back whole, he said, and I will rebuild everything. From that day, Nneka's life became routine and ritual. She prayed like someone who had lost her mind. God, please, don't let me bury my husband. Sometimes she added bargaining to it. I will forgive everybody who has offended me. I will stop gossiping and I will increase my tithes. She added fasting. No food and no water from morning until evening. And when hunger came, she rebuked it. When dizziness came, she sat on the floor until it passed. She told herself it was nothing. After all, what was hunger compared to widowhood? The video course continued. Every night, Obina appeared on her screen wearing the same hospital gown. How are you today? She asked every time, and he will always reply, I feel better, my dear. That should have comforted her, but instead it created a strange pressure. If he was always better, why did he still look exactly the same? Why did nothing ever change? No tubes removed, no new scars, and no different surroundings. Soon, long reminders began to arrive politely, then firmly. She took more jobs and she smiled through insults. One night during a video call, she heard a female laughter somewhere behind Obina. It stopped abruptly like someone who had been signaled. Nneka was shocked. Who was that? She asked. Obina adjusted the phone slightly. What? The laughter, she said. He quickly lied. My dear, it's probably another patient watching something. She agreed. At least if not for anything, hospitals are not usually that quiet. Another night, the network suddenly became an issue when she asked an important question. I can't hear you, he said. It is breaking. I am only hearing shh sound, and that was how he dropped the call. By the second month, Nneka's body started reacting. She fainted once while cooking. Her daughter screamed. Neighbors rushed in and someone poured water on her face. Madam, you need to rest, a woman scolded her gently. She smiled weakly and said, I am fine. You are not. It is written all over you, another added. She managed to finish cooking that day with the help of these good neighbors. She told her husband about the incident, and the way he brushed it off made her to rethink. She remembered the name of the hospital her husband told her, went online, got their contact and reached out. The woman who answered spoke calmly, and Nneka told her she was reaching out because of her husband. She explained that she needed to stay back in Nigeria to take care of their kids. What is his name? The woman asked. Nneka mentioned it. The woman paused and typed, I am sorry, madam. Can you repeat that? Nneka repeated it slowly. And then the woman said to her, I am so sorry. Maybe there's a mix-up somewhere. We don't have a patient by that name. Nneka laughed nervously. Please, check again. And the lady did. Still, nothing like Obi, not to talk of Obina. The woman ended the call politely and Nneka sat down heavily. She shouted, she cried, and she spoke in tongues just so she could calm down, because remembering all she did to raise 15 million naira was making her boil more than hot water itself. During the next video call with her husband, she asked gently, Obi, please, can you remind me the name of the hospital again? I like the way you keep getting better and better. He sighed. Why are you asking? Are you in any way doubting me? The word hit her like a slap. No, she replied immediately. Never. He softened instantly and then he said, maybe we will talk tomorrow. After that day, the calls reduced drastically, and the day they managed to talk again, it was so brief. By the end of that month, the calls stopped completely. Nneka called his number repeatedly. He didn't answer. She called his brother. The line rang endlessly, then died. Her heart began to race in a way she could not calm with prayers. By the second month without a call, Nneka could not take it again. She tried calling Obina, but he didn't take up her calls. She also called his brother, but the line went straight to voicemail. She stopped cooking properly. Her children ate whatever was available. She stopped responding to lone messages, and even prayer became difficult. Every time she knelt, her mind imagined a whole lot of things. She began to rehearse widowhood without realizing it. What will she wear? Who will she call? And how will she even tell the children? One afternoon, she tried calling the Indian hospital again. This time, her voice shook openly. I am sorry, the woman repeated, sounding confused now. We really don't have that name in our system. Nneka refused to believe. She told the woman his English name plus his baptismal name. Still, none of those names was in the hospital system. Nneka dropped the call and laughed a strange, sharp laugh. She asked herself deep questions. But when he came, he showed me results with real stamps. He was thin, he was weak, and he didn't eat well as well. 50 million naira. What did he use them do? But he video called me in the airport now. Plus, he has been lying down on the hospital bed talking to me. Obina cannot do this to me, oh. The more she thought about it, the more she lost her mind. She left the house without telling anybody where she was going. She walked aimlessly, past streets she recognized and streets she didn't. Her clothes hung hung on her like borrowed fabrics. Her hair, which had started growing, stood rough and scattered like it didn't know where it belonged. People stared, some with pity, some with curiosity, and some with judgment. She did not notice because her mind was somewhere else, between hope and grief, between faith and exhaustion. She kept on whispering Obina's name like a chant. Obina, Obina. No, now, you can't do this. I don't deserve such. By the time she reached the main road, the sun was hot and unforgiving. She stood there, unsure whether she was waiting for a bus or waiting for a bad news. That was when a G-wagon passed. It slowed, stopped, and then reversed. The sound of the tires pulling backward made her to look up. At first, she didn't understand what she was seeing. The car was too clean and looked so expensive as well. Then she saw her husband, Obina. Not thin, not weak, and not dying. Alive in the loudest way possible. He sat in the back seat, relaxed with his skin glowing like someone who had been eating well and sleeping peacefully. His cheeks were full and his eyes were bright. Beside him sat a light-skinned woman, dressed neatly, and her stomach was round and heavy with pregnancy. She leaned back like someone whose life was going according to plan. Nneka's brain refused to cooperate. For a few seconds, she believed she was hallucinating. She blinked. They were still there. Her legs felt weak. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. It seemed like the mouth needed permission to speak. The car door opened and Obina stepped out. He walked toward her like this was a normal meeting between two old acquaintances. The first thing he noticed was her head, the rough, uneven hair struggling to grow back, her tired eyes, and the worn-out slippers. His face changed, not with guilt, but with irritation. "Nay," he said quietly, glancing around. "Please, lower your voice. Don't embarrass me here." Her knees buckled. She did not fall down immediately. She swayed first like a tree, deciding whether it was worth standing anymore. "You!" Her voice finally came, thin and broken. "You are alive?" He sighed heavily, like a man tired of explanations. "Yes, I am." "You are in Lagos?" she asked again. "Yes." The question stuck in her throat, but only one escaped. "Why?" He rubbed his face briefly, then he spoke. "I never had cancer." Her world went quiet immediately. "I only needed capital," he continued calmly. "My business crashed. I was owing people. Dangerous people. That was why I looked sick and weak the last time we saw. Thank you so much for bailing me out. May God reward your kind heart." Nneka didn't know when tears fell from her eyes. Obina continued. "If I told you I needed 15 million to settle debts, would you have sold your vans?" "No," he answered. "You would have said we should manage and even suggested I join you in your business so I could raise the capital. So I used the strategy." That word strategy hit her harder than any slap. Her eyes moved slowly to the woman in the car. Obina followed her gaze and said, "Well, that's Cynthia. Her father helped me get the contract I'm working on right now. She is now my new wife. You know how things are now," he added quickly. "A man needs support when he is rebuilding." That was when Nneka's knees gave way and she collapsed into the dust of the roadside. All she could feel was the memory of the 15 million naira. The memory of her father's house tied to a loan. The memory of fasting, the memory of shaving her hair, and the memory of praying herself thin. The cancer, India, and hospital gowns, all lies. Obin on his part was carefree. He reached for his suitcase and brought out a bundle of meat notes. He tossed it toward her carelessly and said, "Take this 500,000 naira. Go and buy food for the children. I will send more when I am free." Nneka stared at it like it was a poison, but he turned and walked back to the car. The door shut, the engine started, and the G-wagon pulled away, leaving dust, silence, and shame behind. Nneka remained on the ground. A woman tried to help her up, but she shook her head and told her to leave her alone first. She stayed there for a long time, long enough to understand that Obina and the devil were twin brothers. She looked at the money, 500,000 naira. That was the price of her humiliation. The woman touched her shoulder gently again. "Madam, please stand up." This time, she did, and the woman made sure she entered a cab home. As she got home, she met her children crying. "Mommy, we are hungry," they said. She looked at them and wished they could understand the level of betrayal that she was dealing with. She hugged them and told them to just give her like 10 minutes to relax. "Mommy, are you okay?" the elders asked. "Did Daddy call?" That was when she cried, and she had no option than to tell them the truth. The children, who were already crying because of hunger, became her source of encouragement. "Mommy, don't worry," they said. "God will surely reward you. You will get back your money in a million folds. You will not see shame, and when we grow up, we will be your husband." Kai, that was when another crying competition began. The next morning, reality knocked. Loan messages arrived. "Madam, please keep to the agreement. We hate to go through the route you are forcing us to take." She stared at her phone and laughed again. She went back to work. She used part of the money for sharp business. The children adjusted in their own way. They stopped asking about Daddy or doing things that would trigger her. They learned to read her mood, and they also learned not to ask too many questions. It became a propelling force that kept pushing Nneka forward. She started paying the loan little by little. One day, after several months, she received a message. It was from Obina. "Please, let us talk." It was the devil. "My mother will come and see you." She read them without emotion. Then the news came. The politician, that is, his new father-in-law, had been arrested. His assets were seized. Contracts were cancelled. And Cynthia, his new wife, had disappeared to Canada with another man, leaving her baby for him. Soon, his mother came. She cried. She begged. She blamed the devil, friends, destiny, everything except Obina himself. "He wants to come home," she said. "He says you are his one and only true wife." Nneka listened quietly, and when her mother-in-law was done, she asked simple questions politely. "Please, Mao, what home are we talking about here? The place I shaved my hair for a lie? The place 15 million naira left without returning? Or the place where I rebuilt myself without him? You were talking about forgiveness now because it is cheap. It costs nothing to say, let it go. It costs nothing to say, do it for the children. If I was the one who played your son this dirty, will you be here saying the same thing?" My daughter, please. It is the devil's work. And I've also told my son that he didn't try at all." The woman started crying. That was when Nneka knew the conversation was already over. Forgiveness did not scare her. Stupidity did. After the woman left, Nneka sat alone and thought deeply. This was the first time she had allowed herself that luxury. If Obinna had cheated, maybe. If he had failed, maybe. If he had run away from responsibility, another maybe. But this man had manufactured death. He watched her shave her head. He watched her sell her future piece by piece, and he slept peacefully. Such a man can do worse than witches and wizards. The next pressure came from church. A Christian mother called her aside one day and told her, "You know, a wise woman builds a home. Try and get your husband back." Nneka smiled politely and replied, "A wise woman also locks her door when armed robbers know the way in." She didn't explain further because there was practically no need for that. Obinna finally came himself. This time, his confidence drained. He did not enter. He waited outside the gate like a prodigal son. "Nne," he called. She stepped outside, but did not move closer. "I am sorry," he said quickly. "Nne, forgive me. It's your Obio. Look at me. I lost everything. I wasn't even thinking straight. She even left the baby for me. I am sincerely sorry. Everything was an expensive mistake, I know, but please forgive me." She studied him quietly and said, "Oga, it was not a mistake. You thought about it very well. You planned it and you even printed papers. The devil that is your master is still a learner where you are." He tried to step closer, but she raised her hand like a traffic warden. "Stop!" That word alone had more power than shouting ever could. "You didn't just lie to me," she continued. "You stole from my children and you tied my father's house to death." He opened his mouth to speak, but she cut him off. "I am not angry with you. That stage has passed. I have forgiven you so that bitterness will not kill me. But Ogasa, you are not my husband anymore, and that's on period." His face collapsed. "But the children, they will eat," she interrupted him. "They are already surviving." She went back inside and locked the door. When Obinna finally left her gate, she did not feel victorious. She did not dance and she did not feel like a heroine. She simply sat down and cried and wished all this never happened. People started talking. Some said she was wicked. Some said she was proud. And some said, "What is it, Seth? What has he done that she can't accept him back? After all, he has learnt his lesson, and that's all that matters." Nneka only replied them with just one word. "It is easier said than done." After that, she ignored all of them and focused on productive things. She did not hate Obinna anymore because hate requires energy and she was done spending energy on him. She did not wish him evil either. She simply wished him away from her life. Obinna on his part didn't want to lose out completely, so he paid bloggers to paint the story to his favor. Trust what these people can do. They started dragging her online like Tiger Generator and painting her black. She wanted to ignore them all, but she remembered her business, and so she went on live one day with all her evidence and narrated all that happened. Obinna didn't see that coming. He thought, since she was not a social media person, that she would let it slide. And that singular act was what God used to rescue her completely and turn her life 360 degrees. Before the week ended, people reached out to her, donated serious money, and gave her big jobs. It felt strange to Nneka at first. She had heard about miracles before, but this her own was like a dream. What the enemy meant for evil, God turned it around for her good. She cleared all the debts, replaced all she sold, including the vans for logistics, and she became 10 times better than she was. This time, before she helped anyone, she asked questions and she also investigated because she had learned the hard way that this world is a jungle. If her own husband could package debts, print documents, rehearse tears, and watch her destroy herself, then nobody deserved blind trust again. Hey, African Tales by Kamma tribe. How are you all doing? For me, I am doing just fine. Let me state it here clearly that this is a real life story, and what Nika went through is what we call trauma, not just heartbreak. When betrayal involves deliberate lying, financial loss, emotional manipulation, and public humiliation, the effects on such a fellow is deep because your mind and your body will respond the same way they would respond to a serious accident or a violent shock. That's why some people feel confused, numb, angry, fearful, or restless all at the same time. So, if you are listening to me right now and you have gone through a betrayal like this, I know many people will speak to you. Some will say things like, be strong, move on, just forgive and forget. Others may even say, but didn't you see the red flag? You should have known better. At a time like this, dear Kamma tribe, the only person who can talk to you, the only person who can reach the depth of this kind of pain is the Holy Spirit. Why? Because this betrayal, it doesn't just damage, your body. It damages the emotions. It damages the inner man and it shakes your sense of reality. It makes you question your judgment, your faith, and even yourself. No human being can fully enter that space with you. The Holy Spirit is called the Comforter for a reason. He comforts by bringing peace where your thoughts are chaotic. He comforts by strengthening you. He comforts by restoring clarity when confusion has taken over. The Holy Spirit also comforts by teaching you how to forgive and how to trust again without becoming careless. You don't need to carry this alone. Invite Him into your healing process. What was broken can be restored, what was stolen can be recovered, and what was wounded can be healed. So, let me ask you, my dear Kamma tribe, if you were Nika, what would you have done differently? Would you ever trust anybody fully again? Or will you investigate every story, even if someone tells you they swallowed shovel? Please tell me in the comment section. Don't forget to give the story a thumbs up, share out to your loved ones, and please subscribe to this channel if you have not already done so. Until I bring the next interesting story your way, it's a goodbye from here, and God bless you.